it actually is. But today we are going to do my regular weekly Apache Spark Code review. I'm here in New York today because of JupyterCon, which has been really quite amazing. I had so many lovely conversations with people. And that's also why it's at a kind of a different time. I need to fit it into my schedule at JupyterCon. Which is good. Since I'm traveling today, I'm going to bring up the comments on my phone rather than depending on my second monitor, and so that just takes me a second to get started. But if anyone has any particular PRs they would like me to look at today, I'll of course be checking the comments to see what people have to say. I'm also going to check the audio just really quickly. Okay, sounds like it's working fine. Last time there was a little bit of feedback. And today I'm actually excited. One of my friends in New York is, in theory, going to be joining us for our code review session in about 9-ish minutes. But I'm going to go ahead and get started, and we'll just add him when he gets here. So with that, let's go ahead and bring up the PR review dashboard. I'm just going to plug in both of my phones so they don't shut off, and I can keep the comments up. Okay, let's go. We'll switch into live view. Okay, it does say Apache Spark Code Reviews. That's my Twitter page, but we're going to go ahead and go to sparkprs.appspot.com. And this is pretty cool. One of the things, actually, I was talking with a friend, and apparently the same code base that runs this also runs the Spark PR Jira updater. And there's another project that I've been working in where they've asked for some similar behavior, and so I'll probably try setting it up for them. I'll do that in another live stream, but I'm going to check with the PMC on that project first before I do that. So let's go ahead and sign in. This will take a second or two. Okay, so Ryan Blue has some interesting PRs into Spark right now. I think, unless they've already been merged. I'm going to also take a quick look at my own PRs, see if there's anything sort of that I'm missing. But for the most part, I'm actually just going to go back into this open PR view and go into Python. And we'll use this to sort of pick what we're working on. Yeah, so this is the R limit one. It fails Jenkins, that's annoying. That's interesting. Okay. This one went back and forth a lot. That's weird. This was updated 19 hours ago? I don't remember updating this PR. That's confusing. Maybe someone else left a comment on this. Oof, yeah, this one was kind of rough. Well, let's go take a look at that one. Oh, and Ryan's is also a little large to look at today, but maybe we can take a quick spin through it. And this is the work in progress PR that's being made by my friend who's on his way to join us anyways. And so maybe we'll actually look at his PR together while he's here, and that could be kind of neat. It's still a work in progress PR, but I think it could be kind of fun for us to do that while we're hanging out IRL. So actually, we've got enough things. We'll skip this one. This one, let's go down to the bottom. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's frustrating, though. I'm not sure if I want this feature. So, this came out of 20830-838. Is this one merged? It is. Resolve undefined names. Okay, cool. And this is nice. Brian merged this one. It's one that we did some going through together. I think I commented on this PR historically. Yeah, and so this is one of the ones that we looked at in one of our previous reviews about the test failures and some of the other things in here. But let's go take a look at this underscore version thing. Prevent, yeah, this sets version to undefined. But I don't, well, let's take a look. Okay, PySpark Python, setup.py, version equals underscore underscore version. Huh. I mean, I guess this is fine. Let's double check here. So the thing that we want to make sure is that this is before that. It is the comment prevent. Yeah, that's fine. Let's double check that this is the linter error that's raised though. Setup.py. I mean, the question is more whether we want to set this to undefined, because it does come in as defined from calling exec, or if we want to just skip E98 and F82 on that line where we reference it. But I think that's fine. Oh, undefined, yeah. Why? Although the follow-up question. Why do we do it like this instead of importing it? I assume there's a good reason for this, but I don't know. Let's try this. Python. Well, import Spark. Import PySpark. Okay, I don't know. It is in the okay. Virtual env. Not PySpark. Then we'll, more or less I want to make it a virtual env which doesn't have PySpark installed in it so that I can test as if I was not in an environment with Spark. Not PySpark, bin activate. We might have to, okay, cool. No module PySpark. That's cool. So now we're going to go in Python. Well, okay, yeah, that's legit. I mean, I think I'm the person who wrote this line, but I'm not super sure. Import PySpark.version. Can I do this instead? Because then we don't have that. No. Oh, because then it. Yeah, okay, this makes more sense then. Yeah, okay, in that case, I think this looks fine. That being said, we should run it through Jenkins first. Jenkins, okay to test. LGTM pending Jenkins. And so this just says, like, yeah, this looks like the right change. We should run it through CI, even though it's a small change, just to make sure. And this is exciting. We should add a follow-up to add these linter rules to dev lint Python. And that's just because, like, if we're going to fix all the linter problems, we should actually make sure that we don't reintroduce the same linter problems later. So that's exciting, and there's a chance this might finish in the duration of however long this is going to take. Depends on really the mood Jenkins is in today and how long I spend doing this. Okay, yeah. Oh, this one's mine. Let's go down to the bottom. Yeah, any active plans to complete this PR? I think this PR is on hold until Spark 3, but given the discussion on the mailing list, that might not be so far away. And this is more or less, this adds data property accumulators to Spark, but doing that while maintaining the ABI is really annoying. And so that's kind of on hold. It's also on hold for me to find a committer who cares about this. I care about this, but it's in core, and I ideally want a second person who cares about this to do more review. There's certainly been some, but there really just isn't the time until Spark 3 rolls around to do this one. Okay, this one is less exciting than the other one I wanted to look at, so we'll put that on hold, and we'll do... Wait, where did the one from Ryan go? There's the R-limit PR. That's the one that I wanted to look at next, and I wanted to save this one for when my friend gets here. Yeah, most PRs, my PRs, Ryan's. Okay. Cool. And no comments just yet. I'm gonna quickly check on my text messages. Nothing from him. Okay, that's fine. So let's talk about PySpark Executor, PySpark Memory Limit. This is a thing that I'm really excited about conceptually. And the idea is to help prevent Spark from ooming, specifically PySpark, and that's really exciting because we get a lot of out-of-memory exceptions. And so, yeah, this is good and exciting, and let's go ahead and scroll down. This is a PR that we've reviewed a few times. Looks like the tests are passing now. I'm not sure the tests are passing now. Wait, oh, they did, but then they failed again. I don't fucking know. It's looking like it's getting there. Let's take a look at this test build. Okay, it's running. Console output. How far along is it? Okay, it's actively running. That being said, this looks like it's getting pretty close, so let's go ahead and jump into the code. Okay, yeah, that part of the refactor we expected. Okay, buffer size, reuse worker. Yep, okay, yeah, that's the style guide. I don't really care about indentation all that much. I mean, if we were about to merge it, we would, but I don't think we're going to get the chance to merge it today just because there is so many other committers who also care about this PR, but, you know, let's take a look. Yeah, so those parts are no longer here. They're calculated separately. have an alarm, which I hopefully have turned off. Okay, that looks fine. Oh, cool. I think that's my friend. Oh, yeah. I was left over from the call. I'm going through the R limit PR right now. Totally welcome to join. And then maybe we'll circle back to your work in progress PR while you're here. Let's see if you're actually in the shot or if I need to like rejigger the. Yeah, okay, we'll just move this.
Perfect.
Shit ton. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yay, friends. Okay. So this is Ryan Blue's R limit PR. The part where we talked over Hangouts about this earlier. Where the fuck was it? Yeah, it was this part with the worker reuse stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And so now you can see it's changed. It's no longer.
Oh, it's been modified since the last time you changed this.
Yeah, so it's no longer based on worker reuse because it doesn't actually affect what he thought it affected. It's now based on the number of executor cores. Because worker reuse is just about whether or not the workers are terminated, and it's the number of cores which determine how many worker threads we fork.
That makes sense.
And so this is cool, and then someone cares about indentation, but I don't give a fuck. Or, I mean, I do, but, like, compared to the other stuff, I don't care nearly as much. That's cool. Oh, wait, shit, where's the conf? Did that get changed as well?
You can modify the runner class and how it was,
Yeah. There were some issues with
that.
Yeah, he no longer passes in the buff size reuse worker, which is cool. There were some interesting problems from how it was refactored, which is why it was failing tests. But I think he's fixed it since then, because it passed tests once.
Mm-hmm. That's good enough. Wait, did he add the tests inside of this one, or is it separate?
Oh, no, like it was failing just the regular test because the change that he did there.
Oh, okay.
We'll talk about it when we get to it. Yeah. Okay. Config values. Okay, byte unit, MIV, sure. Ooh, and it's added to the configuration.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, Marcelo asked for it. Yeah.
But is it an internal feature? Or is it, no, it's external.
No. Yeah, this is external. We would expect people to set this, and if you're a PySpark user, and if this gets in, I'm so excited for you, and I really hope this reduces the number of people experiencing out of memory exceptions with PySpark.
Should there be an addition talking about memory overhead as an additional metric? Like, how do they know the difference between memory and memory overhead and all that?
Yeah, this memory. Shit. Yeah, that's a really good point.
I guess just to be clear about what are the different things you're adding up in terms of executive memory in general, in total, because the total memory is combined between.
In yarn mode. Yeah, that's like a really. Cool. Thanks for catching that. Yeah. Okay. We'll start review. Yeah. That's yeah. Maybe mention that in this case, it's up to the user to keep. In this case, unset. Python plus system processes in the overhead percentage. Add review comment. Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. That's cool. Okay. Oh, this code.
This is actually where the meat of it is, actually.
Yeah. And the meat of it has been correct since the PR was initially made. I think there was like one minor point where I like asked for a thing. But it's not super important. Yeah, memory limit.
That's fine. Why did he did -1? I think from what I remember, Felix requested something else. And then,
yeah, but then it bounced back because -1 was -1 indicates unset and 0 indicates something else.
Gotcha.
But we only want to do it when it's greater than 0 because, like 0 indicates explicitly disabled, and -1 indicates not set, which I think makes sense. Yeah. Here we go. So if memory limit MB is greater than 0, get the current limits, print the current. Ooh, I'm not sure this should be a print. Right? Oh, it's printing to sys.standard error.
That's fine. Oh wait,
Yeah,
how else
don't we
do
have
they
a
bubble
log?
up in terms of Python? This is in Python.
Yeah, this is in Python on the worker.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we had a logging mechanism. It's entirely possible we don't, and that's going to be really embarrassing. But let's go take a look.
I want to be surprised if it wasn't.
I would also not be surprised. Oh, fuck, we don't use any logging libraries. Holy shit. Oh, sometimes the PySpark code makes me sad. And by sometimes...
Wait, there's a log warning. I think there was just...
Oh, cool. Okay, grep -I warn. Yeah. No.
No, wait, that was just an RG. Wait, keep going.
Grep -R logging. Come on, please. Nope.
Yeah, they don't have any logging libraries. We should definitely add that. But if it goes to
oh yeah, no, like this is fine.
It's
Given
fine.
that we don't have any logging library, printing it out to standard error
It's
is
the best
right
that we
thing.
got, to be honest.
It's just kind of fucking
Kind of
hilarious.
sad.
Yeah. Let's. I feel like this might be a good Jira to file. Oh yeah, this is your work in progress, Peter.
Yeah.
Well, let's go here. Let's go to Jira. Yeah, the fact that auto completes so quickly is a sign that my life is filled with happiness. Right?
It's a quick autocomplete in the Jira. You just have to log in there.
No, okay, let's go ahead. We're going to go issues. Let's go PySpark logging. Let's see if someone else has maybe noticed.
Of course not. Okay,
Oh no, project equal. No.
Oh, it's the
Project
Spark, yeah.
equals Spark and text.
Wow, you even know the syntax for Jira.
Yeah, it's not good. Okay, cool. Yep. I should actually close this. Resolve issue. Won't fix. No longer as important given other changes. It's my own. It's my own Jira, so I can be. Well, no, it's like I don't have to write as much if I'm just telling myself that I'm not going to merge my own code anymore. Like that's all right.
No, there's nothing there that I see.
Yeah, no, we're cool. Well, but this is only
standard output. Never mind.
And status equals open. There we go. Cool. Wait, what? I don't think this is an easy fix. Yeah. Cool.
Sean's got this.
I mean, back in 2015.
Sean used that.
Just while we're here. That's not easy.
Flex version 1.4. Nice.
What else? Okay. Improvement, priority.
So I'm not giving it major.
Trivial. Investigate using a logging library inside of PySpark on the workers instead of print. Components, PySpark, effects version, whatever, 2.4. Reporter, Holden, Shepherd. Holden K. Yeah. We don't allow the worker, we don't have a logging library on the workers to use, which means that it's difficult for folks to tune the log level on the workers. On the driver process, we could just call the JVM logging, but on the workers, that won't work. Okay. I'm satisfied with that tiny pun. Okay, cool. So we reported an issue. That's a party. Let's go back. Okay. Yeah, here we go. So this was the change I asked for here, which was just like, you know, if there's an existing limit and the new limit is less than the existing limit, ratchet down. Yeah. Because before, only set the limit if there was no existing limit.
That makes sense, yeah.
Which, yeah. That's legit.
Because it's a ceiling, right?
Yeah. And so the idea was, the argument was essentially, that like containers might set it, and I'm like, well, yeah, but if containers set it to a higher number and the user asks for a smaller number, then we should do what the user asks for. If the user asks us to give it a larger limit than the container told us, we should maybe just ignore the user.
This part's interesting. I want to see how they modify the client, because we're going to do the same thing
in Kubernetes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. This part is Livy does this. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. I'll add this to my example mixed pipeline repo.
Oh, wait, Livy does that, really?
So folks can see this hack. Yeah, this is going to be a party when you want to try and support Livy. Do you support Livy?
I think there are some guys in Cloudera who made some notebooks. Maybe with Livy.
Cool.
Maybe. To be determined.
Whatever. We'll deal with that when it happens. Okay. Yeah.
Wait, so they're just checking. Wait, scroll up. So they're just looking if it's a...
If it's a Python worker, get this. Otherwise, just always set it to 0.
Okay.
And so the idea is, like, if you set this parameter, but you're not submitting Python code, we'll just not bother doing this code path. Yeah. Makes sense. And so this is the executor memory change where we add this to the overhead. Yeah. And then we can see that this exception has now been changed to mention what it's summing, I think, required, executor memory overhead, and PySpark memory, yeah, is above the maximum threshold of this cluster. Yeah. Okay, cool. This looks good.
Let's scroll up real quick just so we can understand the difference when you start looking at this from a Kubernetes perspective. So you're just merely checking if it's a Python one. So we have a check for that.
Yeah, you already do that. And so you just add this.
Some type of resource that's being passed in. We determine whether it's a Python or Java or JVM one.
Yeah, and then your executor memory just becomes
really
this summation here, and then you're good.
Yeah, that's fine.
So the Kubernetes follow-up to this PR should be pretty legit.
Actually, yeah, that's pretty trivial. I can add that.
Yeah, be really exciting.
And we got some integration tests, which actually prove this works.
Oh, fuck yeah. I love integration tests. They make me so happy.
Is Python app, I assume, is a Boolean config. Yeah.
It's the same. I think this is the same check up here. Isn't it? Is this? Yeah, it's the same.
It's fine.
Same check. Although, whatever.
Why is he doing
that? Yeah, PySpark worker memory.
Oh, it's a different. Sorry, it's a different file.
Yeah, yeah. Nice. This is the yarn allocator, and yeah, this is used in the resource request.
Mm-hmm.
So that's legit there. This, what does this add? Extra env.
Outing an out file.
What the fuck is the out file added for?
Definitely a reason.
Yep, we're gonna go find out.
I agree with Marcelo, actually. Isn't that just Scala idioms?
Yeah, I do.
Should always do for each. Like literally, it's like Spark Scala guidelines, I thought.
I don't know if it's
definitely the guidelines. I think
is it?
You have to do for each and then a map on.
No, you.
Instead of doing matches, you usually do a map, and then you do like a get or else kind of thing at the end of the map.
Oh yeah.
I think the same with for each. If I don't know, that's just style, but like, his reasoning is that like it's just more clear.
But it goes against the style is the argument.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I want to launcher redirect output outfile.get.
Also, it's kind of janky if scroll down. If he's doing it, if it is defined, scroll down, and he's doing a .get here.
Yeah.
That kind of doesn't make sense. Why don't you do like a map or something?
Do
a for each. Yeah. Especially if he's doing a .get down there.
And the .get goes away, and the code could be a little cleaner, but it's pretty minor. Would you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, because like I think the for each is better, but I also really I don't give a fuck.
It literally doesn't matter. It's the most minor thing there is.
Yeah, I just like I want this to work, and then we can like argue over like.
I love protected defs. To be honest.
Yeah,
my favorite kind of defs.
You're a weird kid. Okay, so protected def check result went away. Spark, yeah. Well, I mean, whatever if it compiles. Well, what is this? What class is this? This is the base Yarn cluster suite. Oh, okay, yeah, no, this is a test. We don't have to give a fuck about binary compatibility.
Wait, okay, got it. So tests are the same. That's odd.
Oh no, this is.
Oh, this is the suite itself.
Yeah.
Oh wait, none of this matters.
Yarn SRC test.
Okay, none of this matters actually.
Well, I mean,
kind of
matters, right?
But like in terms of excruciating.
Yeah. So like, I don't care about the minor changes here. Cool. The context message. Okay, let me read this fucking comment. The context message is passed to assert as any instead of a function. To lazily load the output from a file, this passes an anonymous object that loads it into toString when building an error message. Ugh. Well, I mean...
Oh, they're just checking if...
Yeah, they're checking for the error. Oh, this makes sense. Oh yeah. Okay, so this is used to check that the R limit is being hit.
Kind of like that.
Cool. I mean, yeah, I'm glad that we have that covered by a test. That's exciting. Fuck yeah, getting tests working. Okay, add file. Yeah, sure. Create. Yeah, okay. Wait.
Well, he made out file an optional file. What's wrong?
Oh yeah, no, I'm just trying to. I was wondering if it actually is standard out or if it's standard out and standard error, because I want to go take a look at that redirect. Just while we're here.
I thought it was standard out above.
It's like redirect. Okay, it's redirect output and redirect error. It's blank. Okay, launcher is of what type? This is inside of base Yarn cluster suite. Okay. Base Yarn cluster suite. Launcher. Cool. Spark launcher. Spark. .java. Ooh. That's redirect. Output. Process builder redirect to. Okay. Redirect error when it's called with nothing. Error. Does it?
Well, redirect error goes to standard error.
Wait, where am I looking?
Redirect error and then redirect output. They're on top of each other.
Yeah. But so here, redirect error is being called with nothing. Oh, here we go. Oh, this sets redirect. Okay.
That's why you're going into standard out. Okay, they're good.
Okay, cool.
Logic.
Makes sense. We're good.
Gucci Mane.
Yeah. Just wanted to check and make sure that yeah, because I don't fucking know that code.
Magic.
Okay, where the fuck were we? Okay, Yarn cluster suite. Aggregate pandas.
What are we checking in that suite? This one?
This is the out file, and it just checks that the result, previous check result, it's just the same thing with the out file specified now.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. Buffer size. Okay. Yeah. Once again, this is the removal of the buff size.
Why does it going into the arrow Python runner?
I think it doesn't.
It doesn't like
need. Let's scroll down, like this being removed everywhere, and let's just look and figure out where it's added back in. Because I remember the first time it was done not quite on the nose. Yeah, so the base Python runner now, I think, fetches them from the Spark env. But we'll find that. Well, here, let's go take a look. Base Python runner dot. No,
does the arrow Python runner extend from the base Python runner?
Yeah.
Okay, so then it's fine.
Here we go. Abstract class based Python runner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, memory MB apply. Fuck.
You read fast.
Oh no, I skim fast. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
I'm just looking for the thing. Where the fuck is it? Oh god damn it. Oh, actually, it's not even in the base Python runner anymore. Okay, whatever. Let's go find buffer size. And let's find where buffer size is added back in, because that'll just set my mind somewhat at ease. Okay, come on. Did we just not fucking use the buffer size anywhere?
I don't think we need it because we modified it.
Let's go
when we were
Spark dot.
So go back to the
No, here we go. Okay, yeah. So this is inside of this is inside of the base Python runner. I was looking at the wrong one. Whatever. And then and so this is sparkenv.getconf.getInt. And that's fine then. Oof. Yeah. And the first time this was done, rather than doing sparkenv.get, this was like sparkcontext.get thing, and that was why it was failing the tests, is because you can't actually access the Spark context
within the workers.
And the workers.
That makes sense.
But it
ha 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 ha. That's funny.
I mean, it's fine. And it wasn't that way when the PR was first made, because when the PR was first made, the code worked. It was the result of one of the refactorings that we asked for, where it was like, hey, can we simplify this a little bit?
That makes sense.
Cool.
It looks fine, yeah. Are there tests in Yarn that check the actual memory limits besides just doing the standard out? I think I check the memory if we're being set and what are the memory correlates?
The Yarn integration tests, as far as I understand, the Yarn integration tests are not
behind
great.
Closed doors.
Let's save that conversation for a little bit. But yeah,
check that's fine. Yeah, this one's good.
Yarn cluster suite, pandas exec, arrow Python runner, eval Python exec.
So it modifies all the Python runners in essence, the
Yeah.
UDF ones, and then the
and it's all just the same thing.
Yeah.
So you don't have to read through all of these. Holy fuck, we have a lot of Python runners.
You don't have to modify the tests for each of them?
No, because we don't directly construct the Python runners.
Gotcha, okay.
Right, they're all implicitly constructed in different ways. Fine. So this is the out file thing. Check result. So yeah, it's the Yarn. Well, okay, let's go. I want to look at all of the suites to see what our integration tests, insofar as they exist, look like. So that checks the result. So assert result string equals expected. So this doesn't. No, what? It's like check result. Okay, so let's go find some calls. Is there?
Yeah, we do it down here. Wait, you're supposed to.
Oh, sorry. Okay, check final state result out file.
I think it's in the base one, right?
Oh, yeah, but this is.
What's wrong?
Wait, no, that doesn't make sense.
Wait, also, so you're creating one in the temp directory, and then you're checking it after running the PySpark job in Yarn. How's it? What's wrong?
Well, okay, no, because we're not specifying expected anywhere, right?
Scroll down. Okay.
Oh wait, no, expected was already defined. It's not a new thing. Okay, no, we're fine.
Mm-hmm.
So it asserts that result string equals expected. Result string is the out file turned into a string, right? Yeah. Oh wait, no. It's the result thing, an alt file. What the fuck is output file? Wait, what is output file used for? I feel like I've misunderstood something.
I think it's being used just to write to for checking the error message.
Yeah. No comments tell us what the fuck it was used for. So out file. There are so out file. Okay, so inside of here, out file is out file referenced inside of this function? Yes, it is. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's used just to
compute the output.
And then based on that output.
Oh.
We're checking.
What the fuck? Wait, I don't. But. Okay. But like we don't actually use output in the assertion. Like we use it if the assertion fails to provide more context.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You want to leverage the output besides the assert.
No. So I thought we were using the output in the assertion, but we're not. We're only using it for the message if the assertion fails, right? Okay, so that now makes a lot more sense. I was just misunderstanding what we were doing here. Right?
Does that make sense? Oh, this is just to understand the actual test and what's going on when it fails?
Yeah, I mean, I
fine.
think this is just used for additional information.
Not itself as a test.
Yeah, which explains why it's being done lazily, right? Because we would do it eagerly if we were using it all of the time. There would be no benefit to this sort of two-string rigmarole. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay. Better debugging's nice. Okay.
Oh, actually, yeah, I do remember there being conversation about understanding why the tests are failing in certain places and having those kinds of outputs. It totally makes sense.
Totally useful. Yeah, because, like, I mean, I think I knew why the tests were failing from intuition, but, like, that's maybe not... it's not a great thing. If you can clarify it, then it's cool.
To be honest, it's pretty good.
This looks so good. I'm really excited. Some minor comments.
Nits.
Fine, yeah. / nits. Yeah.
Is it worth an approve or is it a comment? Who knows?
It's a comment.
Checkmark's rough. Checkmark is big.
Well, so the magic is LGTM.
That's what we always look for.
But like I ain't. I'm not gonna. Yeah. Cool.
Sounds pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, and it's still running through Travis. So that's cool.
Travis takes like 4 hours.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
Easy 4 hours.
So when I started working on this project, I was like upset that Travis took an hour. So, and by Travis I mean Jenkins.
Not my boy Travis. What did I see? Oh, so for the Kubernetes side, it's actually pretty simple. We just watch the logs of the executor and the driver, and based on that, it's a little simpler because it's just like pod logs. I think it's my answer now.
Oh, no worries. That's fine. Keeps
So
it exciting.
Simple. Yeah.
Do you think it's time to go through this PR together, or
we could? I think the only thing. So there's actually I can actually go through it just over the general architecture.
Yeah, cool. Let's do that. Do you wanna drive? Sure. And then I can just follow along.
Yeah. Okay, so we got here. So as it usually works is that based on whether or not you've specified the Hadoop. Oh wait, this is Command F.
It's Control F. Sorry.
So based on whether or not the Hadoop conf directory is set, this begins by doing the first Got it. So in the client itself, it's going to determine whether or not pretty much your the thing that you're launching, pretty much your Spark job, whether or not it has Hadoop conf directory set.
Okay.
In essence, that's how you begin. And then what the function of one of the steps is there's I call the Hadoop conf mounter step, and its main function is to pretty much create config maps for all of the
Hadoop conf properties, so they can be loaded. Cool.
And then they're just pretty much sitting in the conf directory, and that's all done in this. I think it's called Bootstrap. So in essence, I have there's a lot of code here. 1 second.
Yeah. Sorry, the text is so large.
It's enormous.
I just do it so that.
Yeah. So here it is.
Okay, cool.
So this is mounting the delegation tokens, but we need to look at just as a start. Okay, so this is just the Hadoop configuration file. So in essence, we're pretty much given a Hadoop config map name.
Yeah.
And the pod itself, all you do is pretty much get all the files, you create key paths, and then you actually create your config maps.
Cool.
And then your container sets pretty much the conf directory to wherever that config, the maps, pretty much all the files are located at. And then we create pretty much a volume pointing to that. And then you pretty much have all your config
in your
files.
Kubernetes.
Yeah, in the driver and the executors.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's a good start. And then the main purpose is that you leverage that to actually do your Kerberos login.
Cool.
And then whether or not you do your Kerberos login is another story. So that's the first step is pretty much you just load up pretty much all your Hadoop config files, and then you check whether or not Kerberos is enabled. And that is usually done by, actually, previously it was a config variable I had, like whether Kerberos is enabled.
Yeah.
Only because it makes it slightly cleaner. But obviously your Hadoop UGI mechanism will detect if Kerberos is enabled manually by just checking the actual Hadoop conf files.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so you're able to determine by that logic if Kerberos is enabled, and then based on that you do another step. So, and the steps are broken down into a couple manners. It's easier if I actually go into the actual... Can I do the files?
You want to do the file view? Yeah, sure. I mean, if you want to do it like that. We can also check out your PR if you want.
That'll probably be faster, but I can do this, it's fine. So we have, let's find out this whole code base, let's chill.
Yeah, both you and I have spent
way too much time on this.
Yeah, you opened a new tab by accident, I think.
Oh,
so you can see I haven't picked GitHub yet.
Yeah, that's a mess. You're killing me.
I gotta fix that. You
I just
closed
closed
your
it?
tab, and you close the other tab. Here, dog.
You're killing me here.
You do not use Chrome on Linux, do you?
Never. Okay, so you have resource manager. Yeah, so pretty much you have one step, which is going to be your Oh man, you got too many VMs running.
What? No. I have what? You keep opening new tabs, man. Just.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, I'm silly.
It's cool, man.
Okay, I had no idea. Okay, now I know. Okay.
Cool.
That's really funny.
I mean, I don't... This is just the configuration that I'm used to, and then when I use Macs, I just get, super fucking confused.
Yeah, so pretty much in your features, you now have Hadoop steps. And each of these Hadoop steps pretty much function as multiple methods. And pretty much you launch it based on the steps orchestrator. So it's pretty much because there's a lot of internal things. I defined a config spec, in essence, that the orchestrator is going to leverage. And that's pretty much like what are the volumes you're mounting, whether or not the secret, for example, was specified previously, as in like an already pre-created secret, which is really common, for example, in Mesos case. Because right now in Mesos, you can't actually create a secret. You have to leverage already existing secrets in the secret store. That's actually what they're doing on the Mesos side. Because they still have... issues in proving that it's actually secure when you actually upload as opposed to Kubernetes. And then same as a job username. So for example, there's cases in which in Kerberos they actually set the Spark user, but not in Kerberos it doesn't. So it's pretty much based on that. A lot of fun Spark user stuff. We're going to get into that in a hot sec.
God. I hate the amount of time that I've spent inside of Spark user is not nearly as much as you, but like I also hate it already.
And so in essence, I pretty much have a single feature step called the Hadoop global feature step, driver step. So this is for the driver. And so how it pretty much works is that I check if the Hadoop conf directory was specified. And if it is, I begin pretty much this process. I pretty much grab all the Hadoop steps. I take a Hadoop spec, in essence, which I pretty much specify a delegation token secret name, which is also based on the specific job. So it has like this. It has like the Spark app resource name prefix.
Sure.
So it's unique each time. And then I pretty much configure the pod. And then based on that, I determine whether or not I do Kerberos. And that's just pretty much like a bootstrap step.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the gist. So right now, the current state of the PR is that we are able to get the delegation token stored into the secrets.
Cool.
And so the next step is the driver actually is now with the secrets in the actual store. It needs to be able to do another Kerberos login. But luckily, the Kerberos login, when it hits the Hadoop BGI mechanism, will actually just detect the delegation token at that point in time.
Cool.
Which makes it so much easier. The only problem right now that I'm having, which is the one bottleneck, is that if you look at the PR and the most recent changes, I'm going to go back to the original. Now I know how this actual thing works, which is very comforting. So in terms of my most recent changes, which would be, I think it is kind of shown, maybe, down here. So, he actually talked about it. So in this specific change, I'm running as Spark user.
Yeah.
Just because I need to ensure that it's running as that specific user to overcome any problems it has with login. But the problem is that this step fails because there's a specific... it fails with Unix principal. When the Unix principal is grabbing the current username, current Unix username is still null. And so what I'm pushing right now as a change is, for example, modifying the security context of the pod so it runs as a specific user. But then also the problem is that Docker needs to create that user before it's running in it. And I believe Docker and K8s, they actually share, I believe they share users, and so I think the nodes, the Kubernetes nodes themselves have to have the user, and the Docker can only share. I don't know if Docker's able to create the user on the nodes. So I'm trying to do user add and group add of the actual username that you're trying to specify.
Fuck.
So if you look at the current modifications that I added, so this is in... let me quickly check if I can do the most recent commit.
Yeah, there's the fixed Docker file.
This is an example. Actually, this is the main one. So in this one, I set it so that you edit. I ran a specific user with a specific user group, and then what I did was in the actual Docker file itself, I said add group. And the problem is that I also wanted to specify, for example, here the username, but you actually can't do that. You have to
don't know.
hard code it. So I wanted to just when you get to the Docker file itself, I actually specify what the username is. I have it in an environmental variable, but I don't believe you can do an environmental variable with an add user. I think they require you to.
Wait, what?
It's very odd. I tried to do
a $sign.
$sign didn't work.
But wait, so the problem is here your Docker file isn't run.
So this is the Docker file for building both drivers and executors.
Yeah, but you don't know the user that you're going to be running as, right? Because it depends on what the KRB.
So what happens is the user that I specify is going to be the user. So once I do, so the steps are that the Kubernetes client itself is actually doing the Kerberos login, at which point it defines all the environmental variables for the driver and the executor to have, so that it already defines a Spark user as the actual login user, the job user. Login. And so you have $sign Spark user already defined as the correct username. And so the logic would be to add user with $sign Spark user.
No, but this is run. So this add user is run, not you need to do that for your let's go.
I would assume that actually having something be in the entry point. Maybe that's
that needs to go in the entry point. This is being used in the build step. You need to put this in your opt entry point.sh, and then you can reference the username. So I think that might be the solution to that problem. Okay,
I'll try that because the problem was that a username with 1,000 didn't exist.
Yeah.
And so that's actually... Okay, I'll do that. So we actually have that comment.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Go for it. I'll tell you.
So this part, I think... Cool.
So what I find super interesting, just because I'm a little confused about this, I'm talking with some of the Lightband guys on this, is that if the Kubernetes client itself is run from a Docker image, built from Alpine as well, and it's able to log in and do the Kerberos login, why is it the driver, which is built from the same base image, unable to do the same login and has this Unix username issue?
I don't fucking know, man. Like,
so technically it should work from root or it should work from nobody.
Yeah, but Kerberos is fucking magic.
This Hadoop UGI mechanism is amazing. So like, yeah, so I'm trying to hack at this for a tiny bit, see if that works. But the whole reason this error came up because the initial PR was actually working end to end when I had the mechanism for authentication being simple instead of Kerberos on the driver and executor side, meaning that I skipped the Kerberos login because I already had...
You already had your delegation token.
Correct.
But can you refresh with just your DT?
Yeah, you can. The only problem, because what we have is a separate service that actually logs in as your job user.
Yeah.
To actually, so pretty much you access like a proxy to pretty much get the job user's delegation token, put into the delegation tokens, and just renew it, and then automatically secrets are updated by the executors and drivers. The problem was that when people wanted to use a Spark Thrift server, or when you want to do secure login of HDFS on the driver and executor themselves, you can't because there's simple authentication blocking you. And so a couple comments were that I should make it Kerberos authentication, but because of that, I bumped into so many small issues, which I didn't have before. So it was a good thing that that's pretty much what happens when you move upstream from a private fork where everyone was happy.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things. So just tiny things, and I think at which point this should be good to go. But the good news is that the delegation tokens are in the secrets now, so it's just a small step of figuring out why it's unable to pass the initial parts of the UGI mechanism, specifically just Unix stuff.
Oh god. Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, so it's really close.
If you're really stuck up a creek without a paddle, I have another friend who we did a Kerberos migration together, and he dug a bunch into the PAM modules, and so he has memories where if I buy him a drink, he can talk about them without getting too upset.
Nice.
And so we can ask him for the price of one scotch.
One scotch, deal.
Cool. So that's it's been about an hour. I don't know. I feel pretty good. If you want to wrap up now. Sure.
I guess we can also just quickly talk about the Python virtualenv stuff.
Oh, yeah. So there's no PR for that yet, though, right?
Not yet. So I'm in the state where...
We can go back to this. We got this fancy... Yeah, and now we can see ourselves.
Oh, that's great.
And maybe stay on camera. Oh, fuck.
Okay. We're bad at the camera.
Yeah, whatever.
So, so the interesting point is that I wanted to, from the Spark context, when you're actually doing the install of the packages, the goal was that we leverage the fact that you want to reuse the pip wheel.
Yeah.
Pretty much, if it's already cached within the pip wheel, we want to use that again, so you don't have to re-download. And so the two strategies that you leverage only the add file mechanism by just zipping your conda environment and shipping it around. And then the other option is that, for example, the Cloudera guys use a form of NFS to be able to store everything on some kind of persistent storage. In Kubernetes, actually, they do this. And they actually leverage that for most of their notebooks, which I thought was extremely unique. But the interesting notion is that I'm unable to communicate with the Kubernetes resources within the context, because I feel like that defies the idioms that Spark creates, that core, in essence, should be agnostic to the resource managers, in my opinion. Like, I can't just start communicating from the Spark context itself.
For your add file.
Yeah. The strategy could be to have, for example, a microservice that kind of detects changes to the driver and kind of modifies a resource. But even you're kind of blocked because you have a consistency issue where the executors are waiting on this separate microservice to... I mean, it's just really tricky.
I mean, if you use NFS, right, and you do your add file, right, you could just kind of install it into the thing which is going to be mounted onto the driver anyways, right? And regardless of how we do like adding packages, we will want to add it to the driver's environment, right? So I think that's not inherently bad. I have suspicions about using NFS as like a great mechanism for sharing Python, but whatever, we can. If people do that, then that's legit. I
feel like that makes sense. The main contention was that in Yarn world, creating these creating these like zip packages and shuffling them around
Yeah.
is kind of what you have to do in terms of this kind of dependency management. But once you move to Kubernetes, the initial batch case, it doesn't make sense to ship these around when you have the advantage of the Docker file. And so the only case in which pretty much I feel like most of the Kubernetes community agreed on is that in the interactive case, this becomes super interesting.
Yeah, totally.
But otherwise, batch, you're letting yourself a more difficult, huge slowdown if you don't just modify the Docker file.
So, but for interactive, right? Like, you want to support the case where someone has a Docker file where they've added a bunch of shit, or I think you would,
Mm-hmm.
where someone's added a bunch of shit to their Docker file, and then they want to add one more package.
Correct.
Right? And so if you can't just put your content environment on NFS then. Because then, like, I've got a bunch of shit in my local Docker file, and so...
That's super true.
Yeah, we're fucked. So I think add file still ends up being the...
There's no other way, because I was really looking at how to do this kind of scenario, and you're kind of blocked by the idioms of Spark and making sure that you isolate per worker and having them handle installs, then first throwing it into a single persistent storage. So that was an interesting kind of battle we had. The other thing is that I guess I don't know. It's just differences between the resource managers, and so I'll look into that. Definitely the common environment shipping is probably the best bet. The other thing is that you want to make sure you specify, for example, if you have a large package, for example, saying like if it's like a TensorFlow, you want to ensure that that file is stored within the Docker file itself.
Yeah.
So you kind of like specify that in like the README or whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. And for the docs, be like, yeah, you can use this to dynamically add packages, but like for the love of God, please don't depend on this for everything. Yeah, no, I think that's important.
So that makes sense.
Cool.
So we'll see.
All right.
Okay, awesome.
We have no comments on the stream today, so I'm sad. No,
that's bad because that means like I don't know, no more questions. Maybe there's a lot of people watching, but no comments.
No. There's viewers, but this is like when I do the cooking videos from my home. Like, people just don't give a. Sorry, I'm not being on brand right now. So anyways, thank you all for joining us. Oh shit, I've got this like what the fuck am I doing slide that I always intend to do at the start, but inevitably end up doing at the end. I really hope this doesn't show my photos. Cool, we're good. Probably. Live stream intro deck. Holden and Boo. Well,
close enough.
Close enough for government work. Although neither of us work for the government, thank God. And we're not doing Kubeflow today. We're Apache Spark. Okay, and so that brief interruption was brought to you by the Hilton Wi-Fi. It's actually pretty good, all things considered. But for that, just in case you didn't get it, Holden and Boo Super Fun Live Stream. I'm Holden. I work at Google. They pay my bills. I have to say that. Well, I don't have to, but I do because I enjoy them paying my bills. Do you want to say...
Yeah, so I'm Alon. I'm an incoming engineer at Bloomberg doing distributed systems and machine learning. I worked on the Spark and Kubernetes effort when I was an intern down there. And that's pretty much it. I don't know. Cool. I like tennis, skiing, and turtles.
It's cool. I like mermaid school and coffee.
Very nice.
And I used to ski race as a small child.
Fun fact.
But like,
just Canada things.
Yeah, no, I mean that's true. I grew up in Canada, and I can't skate, so I had to do something.
I had a ski to class. What are you gonna do? Practically.
Actually, I was close enough that I could snowshoe when the roads got bad.
Snowshoeing is when you put tennis rackets on your shoes, by the way, and you just walk. In case
sure.
No one didn't know that.
Hashtag Canada facts. Okay, but with that being said, it's after 5 o'clock, so we're going to start drinking. But coffee.
Coffee, of course.
Yeah, because we're responsible adults.
Of course.
And so thank you everyone for watching. Next time, hopefully you'll comment and maybe give us feedback as we're going.
Awesome.
I have more of these live streams coming up, doing a wide variety of things. So thank you all for joining me, and thank you especially for joining me today. Peace, y'all.
Toodles.
Where the fuck's the stop button?